Hollywood is full of stories about actors who turned down roles that became legendary, whether due to scheduling conflicts, creative differences, or simply not believing in a project. Some stars have walked away from multi-million-dollar paychecks, leaving behind films that would later define cinema history. From Will Smith passing on The Matrix to Leonardo DiCaprio rejecting Star Wars, these decisions not only changed their careers, but also reshaped the future of Hollywood. One of the most famous examples of an actor turning down a career-defining role is Will Smith rejecting The Matrix. In the late 90s, Smith was at the peak of his career, fresh off blockbuster hits like Independence Day and Men in Black. When the Wachowskis approached him to play Neo, the film's lead character, Smith found the pitch too confusing and didn't believe in the concept. Instead, he chose to star in Wild Wild West, a film that became a major box office failure. Meanwhile, The Matrix became a global phenomenon, grossing over $460 million and launching a billion-dollar franchise. Keanu Reeves, who eventually took the role, negotiated a profit-sharing deal, earning him more than $250 million over the trilogy. Smith has since admitted that while he doesn't regret the decision, Keanu was the perfect choice for the role. Another actor who walked away from a major franchise was Leonardo DiCaprio, who was offered the role of Anakin Skywalker in Star Wars: Attack of the Clones. At the time, George Lucas was looking for a young actor to play the future Darth Vader, and DiCaprio was one of Hollywood's biggest stars. However, he turned it down, stating that he didn't feel ready for such a major franchise role. The part eventually went to Hayden Christensen, whose performance received mixed reviews, while Star Wars went on to gross billions worldwide. DiCaprio also passed on playing Spider-Man in Sam Raimi's 2002 blockbuster. The role eventually went to his close friend, Tobey Maguire, and the trilogy ended up earning over $2.5 billion globally. Despite missing out on these massive franchises, DiCaprio focused on critically acclaimed films like The Aviator and The Departed, proving that his choices still led to incredible success. One of the biggest financial mistakes in Hollywood history was made by Matt Damon, who turned down the lead role in Avatar. Director James Cameron personally offered Damon the role of Jake Sully, along with a deal that included 10% of the film's box office earnings. At the time, Damon was committed to the Bourne franchise and felt he couldn't take on another major project. His decision ended up costing him over $250 million, as Avatar became the highest-grossing movie of all time, earning $2.9 billion worldwide. Damon has since admitted that this was one of the biggest mistakes of his career, even joking that he will go down in history as the dumbest actor in Hollywood. Even legendary actors like Denzel Washington have turned down roles that went on to become classics. Washington was offered the role of Detective Mills in C7N, the iconic thriller starring Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman. At the time, he found the film too dark and disturbing and ultimately passed on the role. Pitt took the part, and C7N became a cult classic. Washington later admitted that turning it down was a mistake, saying the film was fantastic. He also turned down the lead role in Michael Clayton, a legal thriller that later earned George Clooney an Oscar nomination. Despite passing on these films, Washington's career remained strong, with hits like Training Day and Man on Fire solidifying his status as one of Hollywood's most respected actors. Before Robert Downey Jr. became Iron Man, the role was originally offered to Tom Cruise. Marvel Studios approached Cruise in the early 2000s, hoping that his global star power would help launch the Marvel Cinematic Universe. However, Cruise had concerns about the script and wanted more creative control, leading him to walk away from the project. The role eventually went to Robert Downey Jr., who turned Iron Man into a billion-dollar franchise. Through smart contract negotiations, Downey Jr. made over $435 million from the MCU, becoming one of the highest-paid actors in history. Cruise has since said that he has no regrets, believing that Downey Jr. was the perfect choice for the role. Even Hollywood legends like Al Pacino have turned down roles that went on to become iconic. One of his most famous rejections was Han Solo in Star Wars. George Lucas initially wanted Pacino for the role, but the actor declined, saying that he didn't understand the script. The part, of course, went to Harrison Ford, who became a global superstar thanks to the Star Wars franchise. Pacino also passed on the lead in Die Hard, a role that made Bruce Willis one of Hollywood's biggest action stars. Pacino has since joked about his decision, saying, "I gave that guy a career." Some of these actors regretted their decisions, while others moved on to even greater success. Hollywood is full of what ifs, and imagining how different these films would have been with different actors is fascinating. Whether it was Will Smith as Neo, Tom Cruise as Iron Man, or Matt Damon in Avatar, these decisions changed Hollywood history forever. Subscribe for more deep dives into the most surprising moments in Hollywood history.